What's up, guys? Hayden here with DLife HD, and this is what's new on Game Pass. Since the last time, we've got 7 new games added. As always, these are the games that are cloud enabled and compatible with your phone. With all that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and talk about what I've been playing this past week. Now, this is a game you can play on Game Pass, but I didn't know that till after I bought it, so that's a reminder to always check before you buy a game. But I've been playing Fallout New Vegas, which from what I've heard from pretty much everyone is that it's a masterpiece. But I've never played it, or really any other Fallout or Bethesda game, so this is a new experience for me, and I'm still pretty early on, but I'm really enjoying it. Lately, it's been my relaxing at night game, just turning off all the lights, settling in, and enjoying the vibes. Alright, but enough of that. Let's talk about the new games. The first being SkateBird, one I am very excited for. I've been excited for this for a long while, actually, when I believe it was shown in a Nindy Direct, and it's been on my watch list for a while now. It's basically like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, or the Skate series, but you're a bird on a tech deck, and it's adorable. And honestly, if a tiny bird riding a tech deck for a video game isn't enough to sell you on it, I don't know what could. This is one I'm definitely going to be playing myself, and one I recommend giving a try. Next up is Superliminal, and this is one I've actually played before on my Nintendo Switch, and it's honestly one of the coolest games I've ever played. It's a first-person puzzle game, but unbelievably trippy. I had the most fun time. I think I beat it in only 1 or 2 days. It's not very long, but the concept of it is just brilliant. And while there are some parts I felt got a little bit janky, I think that comes with the territory of making such a unique concept and gameplay mechanic with an indie budget. But despite that, I think it's absolutely worth a try. If you've ever played a first-person puzzle game or just into games in that sphere, this one will probably blow your mind. It's genuinely amazing. Now, after those 2 games that I was, one, very excited for and the other already played and loved, now the rest of the games I've never really heard of. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. This next game, I Am Fish, actually looks pretty fun. Even though, yes, I did just say it's called I Am Fish. It's basically that. You play as a few different types of fish and try to get back home. It describes itself as a physics-based adventure, which immediately makes me think of Octodad, which also stars a aquatic animal. But this is more like Finding Nemo, the game, but also in reverse, because they're trying to get back in the fish tank. I don't know. It looks like a lot of fun, though, so yeah. Alright, next up is Flynn, Son of Crimson, and this is a 2D platformer with seemingly a big focus on combat. So it's not like Celeste or a modern indie 2D platform like that, where it's pretty much all about the precise platforming. It's mostly about the mix of the platforming and combat. And while with pretty much half of the indie games coming out nowadays in the last 10 years, you'll hear me raving about the amazing pixel art. But this really does have a great art style. It has great colors, and I like a lot of the style choices they made. It makes it really remind me of the pixel art in Wargroove and games from that company, and it really reminds me of that style. Next is Breathe Edge, which is a space simulation survival type game, which isn't really my kind of thing. I'm not super into survival games a lot of the time, but this one has a lot going for it, I'll be honest. It has some pretty incredible graphics, it's got stellar reviews, don't mind the pun, and it looks like a pretty good time, honestly. Even though it's not my type of genre, I would give this a chance. I don't know. For a survival fan, I definitely recommend giving it a chance. For me, personally, I probably won't get around to it, but it looks really interesting. It's one that mainly interests me, I think, as a sci-fi fan, but as someone who's not traditionally been into this genre, I probably wouldn't get too far into it. Alright, now next to last is Nuclear Throne. This is a top-down roguelike twin-stick shooter, and graphics-wise it reminds me a lot of Enter the Gungeon, even though this came out before Enter the Gungeon, but that's the one I have experience with. Which is probably why I would actually be really interested in this, because I am a fan of Enter the Gungeon. This seems very similar in a lot of ways. This seems like it focuses more on the brutal difficulty, where in Enter the Gungeon you have a lot of things that carry over and like make it easier on future runs, and you actually have that progression. I think this is more full reset and a lot of difficulty, a lot of RNG, but also skill. It's very punishing, is what I'm saying. But as a big Dark Souls fan, I know that there's a community and a lot of people who are into that kind of really intense difficulty and punishing and feeling like you yourself are getting better rather than the game giving you that progression. You want that feeling of your skill developing, and I think that's what this game is a lot about. Alright, lastly is the Artful Escape. And while I already talked about I Am Fish, I think this might be the weirdest game I've seen so far. Watching the trailers, I can barely tell what's going on, which maybe that is a good thing. That may be what they're going for. But even from reviews I've read, it seems like basically you just kind of move right and jump over gaps. It's like a platformer, but more you're just experiencing what's going on. So that doesn't really seem like my type of thing. I like the music aspect. It's a lot about music and story. But yeah, I think it's more like a visual novel, even if it's not listed as that. So I don't know if that's your thing, like a musical visual novel. You might really enjoy this. I really don't know what's going on. Help. And now that that's out of the way, thanks for watching. Let us know which of these games you like best in the comments below, or if you're currently playing them. We love talking to you guys. So let us know what you think of Game Pass and if it's a service you're enjoying as much as we are. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like these, and lastly check out our Twitter account for gameplay of the latest releases. But most importantly, remember to always stay 1 up.